Hi everyone! Today we are going to learn about a poem, A Poison Tree by William Blake. Poem is one of the questions tested in SPM English 119 Paper 2. In this video, I'm going to explain the meaning of the poem stanza by stanza, line by line, word by word. And by the end of the video, I will also go through some sample SPM questions and share with you the techniques to answer these questions. This is the poem. I assume that all of you have already gone through it yourself, so let's not waste time. We move on to the next slide. Before we go deeply into the meaning of the poem, I need to clarify one thing that's very important, but many have confused. That is the difference between poets and persona. First of all, what is the meaning of persona? Persona is the narrator. That is the person who is speaking in the poem, or in another word, the I in the poem. Is poets the same with persona? Do they refer to the same person? Who is the poet in A Poison Tree? That's William Blake. Is William Blake the persona? In this poem, the persona, the I, was angry with his enemy and has killed his enemy in the end. Do you think it's William Blake who has killed his enemy? If he has done so, he may have ended up in a jail for the rest of his life, but we don't see this happen in his biography. So in other words, the persona is someone else. It could be a young naughty boy, a cold-blooded assassin, or even a jealous witch, but definitely not the poet. Now, we are going to go through the meaning of the poem line by line. Stanza 1, line 1. I was angry with my friend. This line is quite straightforward. It doesn't have any hidden meaning. But when you are answering a question in exam, take note that you have to always change the first person pronouns to third person. So it goes like this. The persona was angry with his friend. Let's continue with line 2. I told my wrath did end. The word wrath means anger or being extremely angry with someone. In this line, the persona told his friend about his anger. Then what happened? His wrath did end. That means he was not angry anymore, most probably because their misunderstanding is solved. I think a lot of you have the similar experience with your friend, right? When you are angry with your friend, I'm so angry with you. How can you do this to me? You talk to your friend, or if you are close enough, you even scold your friend. You quarrel, you fight, then what happened? Your misunderstanding solved. You listen to your friend's explanation, then you are not angry anymore. You are still best friend. But what happened if you are angry with someone you hate, like the persona? I was angry with my foe. The word foe means enemy, someone you hate. The persona has an enemy and he was angry with him. Are you going to tell your enemy that you are angry with him? How to tell? By just looking at his face, I already feel disgusted. Yuck! I just don't want to talk to this guy. So, the persona is also the same. I told it not, my wrath did grow. So he did not tell his enemy about his anger. He just kept this hatred feeling to himself. So what happened? When you do not express your feeling, especially negative feelings, that emotion will grow. The word grow here means increase. The more he keeps the feeling to himself, the angrier he becomes. So in stanza 2, his anger grows like a tree, and I water it in fears, night and morning with my tears. Pay attention on the meaning of a few words and phrases here. The word fears means feeling scared or afraid. Here maybe the persona is afraid of his enemy's motive. What is he going to do to me? Is he going to kill me? So he is being suspicious here. Night and morning, all day long. Tears. The persona is crying because of the strong emotions of anger and fear. So these two lines could be interpreted like this. The persona water his anger tree with negative emotions all day long. Other than water, what else does a plant need to grow? Yes, sun. And I sun it with smiles and with soft deceitful wiles. What's deceitful wiles? It is honest tricks. So here we can see that the persona is planning to trick his enemy. In his heart, he hated this person so much. But did he show his hatred on his face? No. Instead, he smiles to his enemy. He pretended to be friendly to his enemy, so his enemy would fall into his trap later on. Okay, now let's move on to stanza 3. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. Okay, the vocabulary in these two lines are quite straightforward, so I just skip the explanation and let you skim through it yourself. The anger tree of the persona grew bigger and bigger until one day it produced a shiny apple. What does the apple represent here? Everyone knows Snow White's story, right? The shiny apple looks tempting, but it's poisonous. In this poem, the apple is also poisonous, of course. It is the fruit of anger, a plan to murder his enemy. Next two lines in stanza 3. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. What was the reaction of the persona's enemy when he saw the apple? The persona's enemy saw the shiny apple and he knew that it belonged to the persona. The word beheld means look at something attentively. What does this tell you about the persona's enemy? Do you think he's tempted? Would he fall into the trap? Let's find out in stanza 4. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. The night had veiled the pole means at a very dark night, when there is no star, not a single star could be seen. All the stars are hidden. What did the enemy do? He went into the persona's garden and stole the apple. The enemy had fallen into the trap. What will happen to him? Will he die? Yes, we can predict that. And what's the reaction of the persona? In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree. How did the persona feel when he saw his enemy die under the tree? Yes, he felt very happy about it. That's the end of the poem. So, the moral of the poem is, we must always communicate with people when there's any misunderstanding to resolve the problems. Bottling up ill feelings is destructive to both ourselves and people around us. We should learn to forgive and forget other people's mistakes. Okay, now let's go through some sample questions in SPM for stanza 1. Number 1. Who is the persona angry with? Now pay attention at the word is in this question. This is a singular verb. That means the answer must be one answer only. His friend, his enemy, his foe. Only one answer. You cannot write his friend and his foe. Then your answer is wrong. Next one. What did the persona do when he was angry with his friend? He told him he is angry, or he talks to his friend. Okay. Or some students, they don't know how to write their own sentence. You can do intelligent lifting. Lifting means copy a line from the poem that tells the answer, but not 100%. You have to change the first person pronouns to third person pronouns. Change all the I to he, like this. He told his wrath did end. So these students, she has chosen the correct line. I told my wrath did end, but change all the I to he. This is called intelligent lifting. Third question. What happened to the persona when he did not express his anger? His anger grew, or his anger increased. Or intelligent lifting, I told it not, my wrath did grow. Change to he told it not, his wrath did grow. Question 4. Which word in the poem means anger? Can you tell me the answer? Yes, wrath. And I want you to take note here, in this section, minor grammatical mistakes that does not affect the meaning of the answer is tolerable. As long as your meaning comes through, whether your answer is in past tense or present tense, singular or plural, that does not really matter. So don't worry. But the pronouns are important. Like I say, change all the I to he, unless the question asks which line. Then you have to copy the whole line without changing any word. Let's see a few examples. When the question asks you which line, please copy the whole line word by word. Many students like to write like this. Line 8. Is it acceptable? Please, don't be lazy. If you only write the line number, you will not get any mark, even though your line is correct. You should write the whole line, and with soft deceitful vowels. Okay, what if the question asks which phrase? What is a phrase? A phrase means a group of words that stand together as a unit. It's more than one word, but it's not a sentence yet. So most of the time, a phrase is about 2 to 5 words. Let's see this question. It's the same question like number 1. But if you write the whole line, you will not get any mark. The answer should be a phrase like this. Deceitful vowels. Okay, then only you can get a mark. Another one. Which word tells you that the persona has an evil tricks? Again, same question, but it wants the answer to be only one word. So you just write one word. Cannot be more than that. Let's see the next question. In stanza 3, what does the apple represent? What's your answer? The apple represents the persona's anger has grown into an action to murder his enemy. This is a very complete answer. But some students, their language is not that good. So you can just give a very simple answer. Just write anger. That is also a correct answer. Next stanza. Which line tells you that it was very dark? Again, this question asks which line. So make sure you write the line word by word. When the knight had veiled the pole. In stanza 4, what happened to the persona's foe eventually? The persona's foe eventually died. Or you can do intelligent lifting. his foe outstretched beneath the tree. In stanza 4, what was the persona's reaction when he saw his enemy die under the tree? Do you remember what's his reaction? He is glad, or you can write, he felt happy. Next question. Do you agree with the persona's action? Give a reason for your answer. This question is a hot question. Hot question means you have to give your own idea. So this is very subjective. There is no definite right or wrong answer. As long as your answer sounds logical, is your own opinion, normally it can be accepted. Okay, so you can answer no, because it is wrong to kill someone, or yes, because his enemy deserves it. Let's look at a few hot questions. These questions normally carry 2 marks. It requires you to give your own idea and opinion as the answer. Many students feel panic whenever they see hot questions. Let me tell you honestly, hot question in SPM English paper is the easiest to score compared to the other subjects. As long as your answer is logical and the examiner understands what you are trying to say and you answer the question, it will be accepted. Don't think so complicatedly. Just give simple, logical ideas will do. Let's go through a few examples. In this poem, the persona was angry with his foe. If you were the persona's friend, what advice would you give to him? 1. I would advise my friend to speak honestly to his foe. I would advise my friend to forgive his foe. See, these are very simple answers. Next question. If you were the persona, would you have been glad to see your foe outstretched beneath the tree? Give a reason to support your answer. This is a yes-no question, so you can answer either yes or no. Both can be accepted as long as you manage to explain your answer. Let's see how to answer this question. Yes, because he had done something bad to me. If you answer like this in your moral paper, die lah you will get a 0 for it. But this is English. We don't penalize students for voicing out their own thoughts honestly. So even if your answer is not a morally acceptable one, you still can get marks for it because you are expressing your own thoughts. Or you can write no, because we could have forgiven each other's mistakes. Both answers are accepted. One more thing you need to pay attention at is when the question asks, what would you do and how do you feel? What would you do if you had a misunderstanding with your enemy? Suggest 2 ways. If the question asks, what would you do? Make sure your answer is an action. Don't write how you feel. It must have an action verb. Talk to my enemy and solve the problem. Talk is a verb. Ignore my enemy again is an action verb. How would you feel if you had a misunderstanding with your friend? Give a reason for your answer. And when the question asks about your feeling, don't write what you do. Write a feeling like this. Sad, because no one talked to me. Very simple answer will do. Finally, my advice to you is to do as many practices as possible. You can find out more SPM sample questions in different reference books or in quizzes, Google Forms, Kahoot. In my video description, I share some links for you to do more practices. The more practices you do, the more you will find out that many questions are basically asking the same thing, just in different forms. You will surely be more confident after more practices you have done. That's all from me. Thank you for watching. Bye.